Hi guys, what's up and welcome to this week's video. So this week I'm going to be reviewing the S26 Ultra, which is the latest flagship phone by Samsung. This phone promises one of the best displays on the market, an elevated camera experience and a slimmer design than before. So I've been thoroughly using this phone for the past few weeks, really putting it to the test. So here is my honest review. So firstly, let's talk about the design and display. So taking the phone out of the box, it has a very similar look and feel to the previous model. The phone has a beautiful screen and very thin bezels. It also feels quite nice and solid to hold in the hand and quite comfortable. The back of the phone has a subtle silk sheen finish and it's also fingerprint resistant, which makes the color look very smooth and attractive. I got it in the color sky blue and this is the 512GB version with 12GB of RAM. So something that has changed about the appearance is the camera island at the back. So now the camera island integrates quite smoothly into the back of the phone as you have a very similar color on the island. The button placements haven't really changed and the speakers and microphones are located at the top and bottom of the phone to give you stereo sound and optimal audio capture. So one thing that has changed is the S Pen location. So it's always usually on the bottom left of the phone where you can pull it out and put it back in quite easily. But now it's moved even more to the left where it's kind of like in the corner of the phone. And whilst that doesn't make too much of a difference, you will notice that now the S Pen has to be put in at a certain direction, otherwise it won't fit exactly right. The phone also promises more durability than before as it's now crafted with an armor aluminium frame fitted with Corning Gorilla Glass that's engineered for water resistance. You also have improved performance with built-in GPU, NPU and CPU upgrades. I personally love the display on Samsung flagship phones. I think it's really top tier. It's smooth, it's ultra clear, it's sharp, the colors look amazing, and you also have the 3 different modes to choose from when it comes to what kind of picture you want. I also like using it in the Quad HD display because I feel like that really makes everything look so much smoother and clearer. Although one downside is that you do end up using a lot more battery. Also, something that's dramatically improved that I noticed without even knowing that this thing was an improvement is the screen reflectivity. So if you are outdoors on a bright day, when you're using your phone and you have it cranked up to full brightness, you will notice that you will be able to see your screen very easily and the reflectivity is not bad at all. Other than that, it has IP68 water and dust resistance, so that's the same as before. It would have been nice to see more improvement in that area, but it's still pretty good. So now let's talk about my favorite feature when it comes to the Samsung display on this phone, and that is the built-in privacy display. And what that is that when it's toggled on, people around you can't see your screen, so it just looks like a black sheen. So it basically gives you a private display. Now, normally you would achieve this by having to apply an external screen protector and you can't toggle it on or off. But with this, you can literally, with the touch of a button, hide your display from the public or prying eyes. I've used it in different settings and it works quite well. It's not as good as if you get an external screen and apply that over the top, because at some angles you can still see the display slightly. However, one of the drawbacks is that the colors of the phone do change slightly, so there is a bit of a compromise with the colors, but I think it's not a feature that you're gonna have on all the time, so it's a great little tool to have if you are in public. So now let's move on to talking about how good the everyday user experience is. So in everyday use, the phone works quite smoothly. Things like texting, going on apps, watching content, everything just feels very fluid and responsive. The Android operating system, I think, works quite well. There are some really cool things that you can do. For example, you can slide from either the left or the right to go back. I feel like the personalization is better. Organizing your home screen, adding widgets, all of that kind of stuff, I think just works better on an Android. But then again, it just comes down to personal preference on how you like your phone organized. Another plus point of this phone is that it picks up signal really well. So I could be in the same location, have my iPhone, have this Android phone, and it picks up 5G signal a lot better. The Wi-Fi connection on this is just that slight bit better. When it comes to video and audio call quality, that is also up there. It's generally pretty good. However, one thing that I'm not a fan of, which I believe has gone downhill than previous years, is the Samsung keyboard. So I personally have always been a Samsung user. I only switched to iPhone a few years ago and I just haven't switched back. But I remember the keyboard being quite good, the autocorrect being quite good. However, now I'm not sure what's going on with the Samsung keyboard because the autocorrection feature is not great. It misses out apostrophes. It suggests completely random words that wouldn't make sense to put within that sentence. Sometimes, even though a word is spelled wrong, it doesn't even have a suggestion for you. However, this is something that's not just unique to this phone. This can be an ongoing thing that Samsung can resolve when it comes to its auto-correction technology. And I'm not the only one who has experienced this. Online forums are full of this kind of complaint. Something that is amazing is Galaxy AI when it comes to using your phone. There are tools that genuinely make your day-to-day easier. For example, the circle to search feature, where you can circle anything on the screen and ask Galaxy AI a question. You can do things like summarizing notes and translating calls in real time. You've also got AI photo editing, which allows you to clean up photos, to kind of turn them into different styles of images, and also play around with them in a way where you can change parts of the image by circling it and basically telling the AI what to do with it. It's definitely one of the better AIs out there. You also have Bixby Smart Help, which suggests useful actions based on the activity that you're doing on screen, for example, editing a photo or writing something. Now let's talk about a very unique feature on this phone, which is the amazing S Pen, which I absolutely love. So using an S Pen, I believe, elevates your smartphone experience, because sometimes you don't want to be using your finger. Sometimes you're doing tasks which require a bit more precision. So the core features of the S Pen are pretty much the same as before. You just have slightly better latency, better tilt detection, and all of that kind of stuff. However, something that Samsung has done is taken out the Bluetooth feature from the S Pen, so now you can't really use the S Pen like a remote. So whilst that does take away a lot of the features, it does simplify things, because a lot of people weren't using the features anyways. Now moving on to the new and improved camera. You have a quad rear camera system made up of a 200 megapixels main camera, a 50 megapixels ultra wide, a 50 megapixels periscope telephoto with 5x zoom, and a 10 megapixels along with a 12 megapixels front-facing camera. So specifically, some upgrades on this phone are enhanced low light photography, advanced AI image processing for sharper and more natural results, and high resolution shooting that allows for detailed photos and flexible cropping. On top of that, you also have the 100 times AI enhanced zoom, which personally I think look quite well. You're able to stand from far and zoom into objects, and you can still tell what's going on, and the quality isn't as bad as other phones which have that kind of zoom. The phone also offers versatile shooting modes that perform well across different scenarios, like landscapes, portraits, and long distance shots. Personally, I was very impressed using the camera on this phone. The colors are bright, the images look amazing, and the quality also looks amazing. When it comes to video, the stabilization is probably one of the best I've used, and also just how smooth the shots look with all the different frame rates. It's definitely an amazing camera, and you can create some amazing content on this. The images definitely have a lot of life, and Samsung's colors are always quite impressive. The selfies are also supposed to look better now, as the front camera has AI image signal processor for more natural selfies with highlights and shadows where they should be. So that makes your skin tone look more natural and everything just look better. And I have definitely noticed that. I think this camera probably takes some of the best selfies. When it comes to editing tools, you have the Creative Studio, where you can use AI to change the image, remove things, add things, and you also have a variety of different styles and filters to choose from. So overall, the camera is absolutely fantastic. So now on to the battery life. So the battery size is pretty much the same as before. It's 5,000 milliamp hours, and the battery life is designed to last the full day, and in my experience, this is an area where I've been quite disappointed in. The battery does not last the full day. It actually drains quite quickly, and if you are a heavy user of the phone, you're probably going to need to charge your phone towards the end of the day. The ultra fast charging is pretty good though, as it charges to 75% in just 30 minutes. So what is my overall verdict when it comes to this phone? I think overall this is an amazing phone. It's definitely one of the best Android phones on the market. You would definitely be pretty happy with this phone, and it also has a stylus. So if that's something that you're into, then you would definitely enjoy using this phone. There are a couple of bits which aren't amazing, for example, the battery life and also the Samsung keyboard, which I'm not sure what's happened over the years. But I think overall, when it comes to the camera, generally how fluid and nice it is to use along with the display, it's actually an amazing phone. So that's pretty much it for this week's video. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and subscribe to my channel for more content like this, and I will see you in my next video. So until then, take care.